The government has used the maximum period under law to maintain the state of emergency in St. James until May 2 this year. It was initially declared on January 18 and initially should last no more than 14 days.
And as required by law, the House of Representatives this afternoon passed a resolution to extend the measure for another 3 months to clamp down on crime and violence out west.
So far, 10 guns, including high-powered weapons, have been seized and 51 persons have been arrested and charged.
The government also sent a strong signal that changes are coming to the law which governs the Independent Commission of Investigations. But first, the announcement. TVJ's Andrea Chisholm now joins us live.
Thank you very much, Archibald and Doreen. Well, for about 1.5 hours this afternoon, the atmosphere inside Gordon House was very cordial as parliamentarians debated the resolution to extend the state of emergency. 42 votes or a 2/3 majority of the lower house was required. But with the opposition unanimously supporting the measure, there were no problems for the government. As expected, 14 days was not enough for the security forces to use extraordinary powers to put a lid on crime in St. James. So in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, a resolution from Prime Minister Andrew Holness
to have the state of public emergency and the emergency powers regulations remain in force until May the 2nd, 2018.
51 voted in favour and 11 members are absent. The motion is carried.
While we will support this, we urge that all necessary measures be taken to ensure that the situation is brought under control. The country needs a clear sense of direction which must be pointed to by the government that can give us comfort that there is a solution in train that we can all support as law-abiding Jamaicans who wish the best for our country.
With over 130 murders since the start of the year, the opposition leader reiterated that the state of emergency alone cannot solve crime. And the Prime Minister again underscored that the security forces will be targeting those who facilitate criminals.
As the intelligence picture is built, and not only perpetrators, but also we are building the intelligence picture on the facilitators as well.
So how effective is the state of emergency so far? In addition to the seizure of 10 illegal guns, 51 persons being arrested and charged, the Prime Minister said law and order is being restored to St. James.
The visitors are moving around quite freely. In fact, the harassment levels have dropped. The buses are able to move much quicker from the port to the attractions because we are seeing greater order, not just in pedestrian traffic, but in vehicular traffic through Montego Bay. So there are some positive effects.
All right, so Andrea, in all this talk about the state of emergency, one of the big issues is the abuse of power by the security forces. That's always been a concern. Was there any mention of the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, the body which investigates the actions of the security forces?
Well, Archie, you will recall that the Prime Minister said last year at the JLP's annual conference that he believes INDECOM sometimes goes too far. And that statement was met with criticism from both INDECOM and other stakeholders. And today, both the Prime Minister and opposition leader made reference to INDECOM. And the Prime Minister in his presentation sent a signal that the INDECOM Act may be amended.
I've decided not to go any further with my comments on INDECOM. I think this House, which created the institution, which still retains the power, at some point, and I suspect it would have to be sooner than later, we will have to take some decisions to ensure that that very important institution operates with balance.
While we urge them to obey the law, I want to urge those who investigate them, including INDECOM, to be mindful of the circumstances in which they operate. If I can be blunt, if INDECOM has a problem with the members of the security forces, I don't think they should disarm them. in public, in full view of the citizens. There is literally a war that has been declared on society. And in that circumstances, you cannot weaken those who serve in the face of those who attack them.
And no doubt, Archie, we will continue to track the developments and keep the nation informed.
Thanks very much, Andrea. In the meantime, the Minister of National Security, Robert Montague, gave the country an update on the state of emergency now underway in St. James. Mr. Montague says the security forces have stepped up their search activities in St. James and neighboring parishes.
There has been only one complaint about human rights violation. We have dealt with that. We have sorted out the situation with the detainees, and we have also made additional arrangements to house our people. The mantra of the government and of the security forces is that our citizens, even those who are being detained, must be treated with respect. Their human rights must be respected, and there must be a certain level of dignity attached to the process.